Hi, this video will be very helpful for those who have several interests and is afraid to limit oneself to like one business or one field, and therefore is feeling difficulty to choose what to do or what to pursue as a product or as a business idea. So I will talk about my example, and you can do the same exercise for you in order to connect the dots that you don't see the connection yet. So for my example, actually a couple of years ago, I had a question of like, okay, I have this and this as my interests and as what I enjoy and love to do, and where I want to develop as a professional. But how do I actually connect everything in my business? How do I position myself so that people don't see me as a person who is doing many things and nothing at the same time, or that people don't get confused about what I do? So what were my interests at that point? First, it's classical coaching and work with mindset, with how we think and with the different mindset traps. Second, I just started to get familiar with the dancing therapy, and I actually found out that even though I thought that my strength was my brain for my whole life, that actually it is my body and my body or emotional response to a certain offer or opportunity that I should listen to. So since I started my own journey of investigating this connection and feeling of like how does my body work and feel and how I can use it, then the dancing therapy and conscious movement became one of my interests as well. And then I was practicing like breath work and meditation for quite some years, and I was using it for myself, and I started to use it as well for my clients in coaching, and I wanted to develop it more. And then I always loved and still love the personal branding side of the business, personal branding of professionals, working with wardrobe, working with colors, working with visuals, creating different designs. I love all these things. And I was like, well, okay, what do I do? And I didn't figure it out right away. It was just, connecting the dots on the go. I started with the coaching, and then at the same time I was still doing a little bit of styling consultations, and the turning point was when I realized that I love to work with individuals, and I was doing that during my coaching practice, but I also love to work with teams and with corporations, with big companies, because I just love kind of multicultural environment and dealing with different people from different backgrounds. I was missing a feeling of kind of big city here in Copenhagen, especially when you're working as an entrepreneur on your own or in a small team. It is the case, right? So I started to think like, okay, how can I provide this environment for myself? And for me, this was working with bigger events. I started to present at conferences, at events where there were at least 50 people involved, from 50 to 250 people. And I started to think of providing the services for companies, for teams with 15, 20, 30 people, and then whatever it grows from there. So I consciously started to create the background for myself, positioning myself as a specialist who is doing the workshops. I created the programs, I started to build the network, I was doing the masterclasses and the workshops within one of the communities which were dealing with employees of bigger companies. So in that way, I started to feel more and more engaged in this corporate world here in Copenhagen as well, and that was feeling very good. It is, I think, very important to understand what kind of working environment do you want to have, and what kind of activities do you want to do on your everyday basis, what kind of people do you want to interact with, and then build slowly in order to get there. And one of the phrases that helped me a lot was that I choose that the position where I am right now and the position, or the difference between the position where I am right now and where I want to be, this difference will not scare me, but will inspire me and give me motivation. So I started to slowly position myself on LinkedIn and within the network of people that I know as someone who is dealing with companies and providing workshops there. And opportunities came along through my friends, through the network. I started to work with companies such as Novo Nordisk, Nordea, and so on and so on. So in that way, I was on one hand working with individuals and keeping my practice, like having my hand right on the pulse, knowing what kind of difficulties people are dealing with. And then I started to work with teams, and that is a different surrounding and different dynamics, different operations. So I started to get into that world, understanding how it functions, what kind of difficulties, challenges do teams have. And believe me, they have a lot, especially nowadays. So this is how my business and services and products developed. And then this side of marketing and creating visual designs and so on and so on. I was thinking, well, okay, since I love to create sometimes, like physically with my hands, sit and create some specific designs for specific people, I started to offer mentoring services and consultations for the personal branding, for public speaking, for launching of the products, courses, activities, businesses, and services to deal with the wardrobe and with visual representation as a specialist in specific field. And that one is the like least percentage of what I do, but since I love it, I still give myself the opportunity to get involved into that kind of activities, and I'm actually very, very happy with how it goes with my mentees and with people who are actually using these services. So in that way, I managed to also use all the strengths that I have, some specific things that are not very obvious and that you can understand with time. When you're looking back at your life and you're analyzing what is it that I was practicing for my whole life without even realizing that would be your strengths. For me, it was first starting from scratch and bringing new ideas to life. I did it several times, like 5 times at least. I started a new field of business from scratch in different settings and different surroundings. And my personality is like this, that I love the period of launching. I love this sense of anticipation and newness of something. So I'm thriving in this period. And I know that for many people, this is the scariest period ever. So my energy and enthusiasm, and of course, the vision, the strategy, and more like hard skills, they are helping people to go through this period. And I got to realize that, and I started to use that in my positioning as well. That is one thing. Then the ability to see the core offer that would sell, that is based actually on people's strength, and the ability to put it into words. that is backing up, these consultations and services that I provide as well, and I know how to talk about it. Then the mix of creative mindsets and the analytical kind of systemic approach, which was trained. I think that, and you can analyze yourself as well, like what is your nature and what is something that you actually trade. I understand that my nature is more spontaneous, while through my whole life and childhood I trained being like persistent and consistent, and starting and finishing things. So now I found a balance of that, so that I'm not pushing myself through the processes that actually have to end, and so that I pursue my interests and I'm using the energy and motivation, but I still have a system that I'm following, and I'm helping my clients also to use both sides of their brain to create their offers. And the last one is the understanding of the connection between how the mind, brain, emotions, and body work, because that is essential now in my offers, since that is what I'm offering to companies and to teams dealing with resilience, dealing with change management, with uncertainty management. So I understand that for myself, only working with mindset is a very slow process. Even though I thought that I'm a very logical person, and I am, but there are tools and keys that are working much, much faster for me, and that is dealing or engaging the body and certain emotions. So I'm helping my clients also understand that connection and find these tools for themselves, which are working very fast for them to change the state of being, to first realize it and then change and then get the results that they want. And then finally, I think the nature, my kind of innovative nature or inner innovator gives me bravery to bring new ideas to life. So several times I was starting something that was not happening here before, or that was not known to the public before, or that was not considered as normal before. So I also started to do it here, and that is the way for me to get first of all satisfaction, but also to build my kind of voice on the scene here in Denmark. So I was able to, close all the gaps in what I want to use, because I knew these things. I started to, write it down when I kind of realized, oh, this is how I am, this is how I am, this is what I want, this is where I want to be. I will try this path, because sometimes when we try something, it doesn't mean that we will end up doing it. And I gave up on some ideas and some products, but now I'm happy with how it is actually developing. I'm having a strategy to move forward, and I know where I want to be. So my question to you would be, what are your interests? What are your strengths? This, not something that you're writing in the CV or about yourself on the website, but something which, when you look back, you are like, oh, but that is what I am actually great at. And that is kind of a built-in feature. You don't do much effort in order to use it. That is very natural to you. For me, it is a way, or maybe the secret why I managed to do so many different things and be active in many different fields is because they fuel some specific part of me, and I was building this infrastructure quite consciously. So the question for you would be, which of those interests and strengths is your business covering? Are you satisfied with that? And if you're not, then maybe some of things that are left aside, maybe you can use it in your other activities. If you cannot find the ways of using it in your business, maybe it can be part of your hobby, part of your volunteering job, part of your activities or networking and so on. So map out that things for you and see if you get any business ideas based on new business ideas or ideas for development of the business that you already have, based on, you know, strengths and specific interests that you have. There's also another great exercise that we did during the International Citizen Day, which is called From Skills to Business. And you can find the worksheet for that and do the exercise yourself through our members hub on the website. The members hub is free, so try go there, register, and investigate what kind of resources we have on the website. See you in next videos, and have a great day.